Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Arc Synergy. Make sure you stick around. Today we're going to go over another state licensure information. So in those videos, you'll get all the information that you need in order to apply to renew your speech language pathology license in any state in the US. So feel free to check out our library of videos. Episodes, we go over each specific state licensure separately so they're easy to find and go through. And without any further ado, let's go into today's episode. We are going to start covering the North Carolina licensure information application procedures. So for this week, we're going to cover the full licensure information. So how to obtain a full license, SLP license in North Carolina. North Carolina, first of all, is part of the compact state, so check the SLP IC privilege before you apply to the traditional route. So if you're going through the full application, there are a few things that stand out compared to most states. So applications are reviewed at a monthly board meeting rather than processed continuously. And every applicant has to complete a quiz, which we'll talk about later. And then we also have some specific information about the renewal cycle that we'll cover in 2 weeks. So for now, let's go through the full licensure step by step. So as I said, the North Carolina is a member of the Interstate Compact. So if you hold an active home state license, in your compact privilege or in order, you may be able to apply to an expedient process and practice in North Carolina without going through the traditional route to obtain a separate North Carolina license. So verify your compact status before starting in your application process. So the North Carolina license itself will only authorize you to practice within North Carolina. Obviously, it does not extend across state line, not even to the compact state, unless you have to go through the compact licensure application process, like I said. And next, we have the open book quiz. So every applicant to the North Carolina board, so that include new graduate, if you're applying as a reciprocal applicant and or reinstating your license, you must complete an open book quiz covering North Carolina licensure laws and rules as part of your application. This quiz is built into the online application portal. It is an open book quiz, so it's not like a high stake something you have to worry about, but it is a required step that adds time to your application process. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the application steps. And like I mentioned before, North Carolina applications are not processed on a rolling basis. So they are reviewed at a monthly board meeting. So this means that the timing of your submission relative to the next meeting will directly affect how long you have to wait for your application to be reviewed. So try to submit your application at least 1 week before the meeting date. You can check the board's websites for the meeting schedule before you apply. The current processing time once your application reaches the meeting review is approximately 6 to 8 weeks from submission. Of course, incomplete and inaccurate application are the most common delayed that the board reports for that will impact your licensure timeline, application timeline. I hope that today's episode have been really enjoyable for you so far. Please take the time to leave us a review, to leave us a comment, and to like today's episodes. It will really help us develop those videos and put them out faster. And if you have the time, feel free to check out the Arc Synergy app on both iOS and Android. The app is free and there's a free clinician plan, so you don't have to worry about doing any subscription to get started in the app. And let me know what you think. Now, let's get back into the episode. North Carolina has two main application paths for licensed SLP coming from other states. So, You can do a reciprocal application if you hold an active SLP license in another state. You will complete the reciprocal application and open book quiz, then arrange for an official letter of license verification to be sent directly from your current state to the North Carolina board. You will also need official transcript showing your conferred degree from your institution to the North Carolina board. If you hold an ASHA Cs, you can send a verification directly from ASHA to the board in order to apply. That would satisfy the requirements to apply for a license in North Carolina. If you are an SLP that just finished their CF, so and you're applying for a permanent application for the first time, if you completed your CF year in another state, or you completed your SEY, they will require the SEY report to be completed with your supervisor. So that would go over your clinical clock hour summary, the praxis, and if you have applied for an HRCs, and a written request for permanent licensure in addition to the standard documentation. So now let's go over the fees. The application fee is $30. It is a non-refundable application fee. And then the permanent license fee is $60. If you plan to work in North Carolina's public school system, there is an extra license that is required first. After you obtain the teaching license, you then submit additional documentation to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, Form 5, and also add your transcript and your SLP license verification. The school credential goes through DPI, not the board. So that is an extra step that you have to do. So keep that in mind if you're practicing in the school system. So in closing, to go over everything we talked about for North Carolina, so North Carolina is a compact member. There is a monthly board meeting review cycle, so keep that in mind when you submit your application. An open book quiz is required with every application. And that is basically everything you need to know on how to plan for your application. So in the next video for next week, we will cover the provisional licensure application process for new graduates that are about to complete their clinical fellowship year. Thanks for watching.